All right. Well, thank you for sitting down with me, David. Really looking forward to hearing from you. Let's dive right into the questions. Can you briefly describe your role with the LA Sports Council?
Sure. I'm the president and CEO of the Los Angeles Sports Council and the Southern California Committee for the Olympic Games. Um, the SCCOG, Southern California Committee for the Olympic Games, was established after LA had the Olympics here in the 30s to kind of keep the Olympic movement alive here in Los Angeles and to bring the games back, which so proud. Again, they're coming back in 28, which is great. And the LA Sports Council was born after the Olympic movement here in 84, so about 32, 33 years ago, to really unite the sports business industry, to bring positive economic and community impact to LA. So as a born and raised Angelino, had the unique opportunity to kind of I'm only the second president of the organization. The gentleman I took over for after he retired it was his baby, so he had run it for 30 years, and really the opportunity to kind of create narrative 2.0 for these legacy organizations was something. Again, as a born and raised Angelino, I jumped at the opportunity.
Nice. And it's definitely been a great year for LA. Well, last year.
It has, I mean, for championships, but obviously sports and all sports and many, as well as many industries were hit very, very hard with COVID and continue to be, but hopefully it looks like we're coming out of it.
Yeah. So, speaking about your role as a president, what important steps did you take to get into your current job role?
Well, I was 22 years with the Dodgers organization before I transitioned to this. So I've only had two jobs in my entire life. And I started with the Dodgers 2 days after I graduated from college. I started as an unpaid intern. So, I mean, I don't really know, but I would just say a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance, and having a really, really good attitude. And the sports world, I don't need to tell you, Kelsey, it's such a small community, and you never know who's going to be where, when. And I've always my mantra has always been kind of, put positivity out there and take care and help be an advocate for others, and it'll come back around. And it certainly has.
I like that. What do you enjoy most about your job?
I have to say, unlike my role at the Dodgers, which was very revenue focused and pretty myopic, now that I have some opportunity to kind of reflect, I would say the opportunity I have in this role is so different, which is challenging, but very, very exciting to really give more of a broad impact to not only the city, but our sports business community. So I would say that's probably what I'm most excited about, the opportunity that's in front of me to have a really broad and lasting impact on our industry.
Yeah, and LA is such a hub for everything, so it's nice to have that. Um,
Absolutely.
what would you say are some of the challenges, if any, to your position?
Oh, there are challenges. There are challenges. You know, gosh, I would start with, taking over an organization that's been around for so long. On one hand, that's such a positive thing, but on the flip side, it was kind of run the same way for a long time. So it's almost like I am working in a startup company, but we've been around for 30 years. So I would say a few challenges. One would be, really changing. I don't want to say the culture because there's only a few employees, but like really getting our board engaged in a way they've never been asked to be engaged before. I mean, that's pretty challenging. I would say because we're privately funded, we don't get public money from anywhere. And so really coming up with revenue producing opportunities that benefit the whole, so coming up with those ideas is definitely a challenge. And I mean, and you throw in, like I said, the organization was kind of run the same way. So really stripping down all the systems and infrastructure that hadn't changed in 30 years and kind of almost rebuilding the organization from scratch, all the while, again, creating narrative 2.0, changing kind of where we go next. Like, we're not looking in the rearview mirror. I got brought on to kind of look forward. And so again, that exciting opportunity is also the challenge as well, just to name a few.
Yeah, definitely being like forward thinking.
Yeah.
So I guess to kind of combat those challenges, what character traits have helped you be successful?
I mean, I would say again, really being a good networker, being a good listener, always looking to help out others, even if I don't think it's going to directly benefit me now or ever, because it's such a small community, you know. I would say those are some of the top traits that come to my mind. But you really have to ask someone that knows me, because it's hard to ask. I don't really toot my own horn or think about that a whole lot. But I believe in good karma. I believe in working really, really hard, and I believe it all comes around. Um,
Totally.
and that's really in any industry, no matter what your role is, whether it's strictly revenue generating and selling suites and sponsorships and tickets, all the way up to whether you're in marketing or community affairs and across the board. You know what I mean? And so I would also say too, having perspective and understanding of kind of how all the pieces make the whole. Like, even though I've worked in kind of one or two areas my entire career, now I have an opportunity to kind of have a more broad perspective, and that's as well as been challenging, but also again, great opportunity, and has really helped round out kind of my experience. I think made me a better not only person, not only leader, but uh, better, well-rounded across the board, I would say.
That I like that too. So you kind of talked about like good karma and being available for people. Have there been any standouts or any individuals that have helped you along in your career?
You know, this may sound like an unconventional answer, although I've of course had a lot of people help me in my career. But I will say the greatest learning experience is, when I've been under duress, and Kelsey, I would say, you learn more about who you are, who your friends are, about the business under times of duress. When things are going well and you're winning world championships and you're killing it, you know what I mean? But it's when you're a blue chip organization and you're bankrupt, or there's a sale and a lot of people get fired and a lot of new people come in, that's when you really learn a lot about the business and yourself and the people around you. So, although I have had a ton of people, too many to name in this interview, that have helped me and that I've leaned on for incredible resources, I would say, it's under the times of duress that you really have to embrace and realize it's a learning experience. Again, the time when the Dodgers were bankrupt and got taken over by MLB, that, the sky is falling. That was a really hard time. But again, at the same time, when the pendulum swung and Guggenheim bought the Dodgers, and, it, I'm just using the Dodgers as an example because I was 22 years there, it forced us during that tough time to do things the Dodgers never ever had to do. But at the same time, because we did those things, it enabled us to really take advantage of it when the pendulum swung, and just realize that it's not going to be forever. You know what I mean? And an organization like the Dodgers, again, for example, will live on long after I'm gone, as they have and done very, very well. And they were there long before, and they're going to do just fine long after. But that is something I think we all can kind of take as this is like a blip, whether it's COVID and we're all dealing with our stresses around whether it's personal, professional, academic, you know what I mean? There's challenges across the board for everyone. And so, but realizing and really embracing the tough times and making sure that you're taking it as a learning experience um, will put you in such a better position when we all come out of it. So
100%. So I feel like you've touched on it a little bit, but what have been some of the greatest highlights in your career thus far?
I'm so blessed, so many great times, so many great memories. I would say at the Dodgers, there's no better feeling than, having feeling like you're a part of having 56,000 people, electric atmosphere in one place at one time. That is a great feeling to come up with an idea and to put it to market and see it work. That is just an awesome feeling. And I would say in this role, it's like deepening the impact of our Ready Set Gold program, which I don't know if you know about. We put Olympians and Paralympians into Southern California area schools. COVID silver lining, we've pivoted and now have a virtual component that's allowed us to scale the program and our impact in ways I never dreamed possible for many, many years. And now it's done. It was done in a matter of months. So we have a virtual program now, and Michaela Reynolds, who runs that program, has done such an incredible job, especially with the backdrop of the 28 games. The opportunity of how many kids that program can affect, I get really, really excited about that opportunity. So, I guess in this new role, it's tough to say because I've only been here 2 years and I have so much more work that I want to do here. But I think the most linear is really the scaling and the impact of Ready, Set, Gold, and what we've been able to do so far on that. But also, reimagining where the sports council goes and how we support our industry moving forward. That's really, really exciting too. So something, I have a lot of Dodger stories, but in this new role, I would say the opportunity is more clear than it's ever been before, especially during these tough times. I see the opportunity more clearly and I get pretty excited about it. So those are just a couple to name a
I
few.
like the positivity right now, like the positivity.
Good vibes only, Kelsey, good vibes only.
100%. So last but not least, the question is, what advice would you give to someone like myself that's a student currently trying to pursue a career in sports?
Yeah, it's a tough industry to get into, but I would say be positive. You know what I mean? Network as much as you can. You never know who's going to help you out. And I would say, continue to nurture those relationships, because I can't tell you how many times, I give someone my card or I said, hey, I will help you in any way. Just let me know. And I never hear from them again. You know what I mean? And so that's just one example, but I'd say really being smart about how you cultivate those relationships is a big thing. I would also say educate yourself on what's going on in the industry, so that when you do have a elevator conversation with someone, if you run into someone, you know exactly kind of what's going on and how they're related to it. And I think it would help if you kind of have a pathway. I would say have an open mind, because I think a lot of people potentially in your shoes, Kelsey, I want to be in community fairs, I want to be in marketing or whatever PR, whatever it is.
Mhm.
But sometimes, your career falls to your strengths and you don't know what you do now, how it's going to affect the job you're at 3 jobs down the road. And so I would say have an open mind to different experiences that maybe are not on the linear track that you think you should be on or you see yourself, because you never know. When I got into selling, I broke in by selling tickets to the Dodgers. I never sold anything in my life, but I found out I was just talking Dodger baseball, which is what I love to do anyway with my friends. And I was actually pretty good at it, but I never felt like I was selling anything. And again, that opened my eyes, and that, especially during the ownership changes, all I did was say yes to new opportunities. I never said no because I was too good for it or didn't know how, not going to pay me enough or not going to have the right title. I just said yes, 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 yes. I want experience. I would say have an open mind, embrace any opportunity with an open mind and open heart, because you never know where it's going to lead, if you'll actually like it. You know what I mean? More importantly, the people that you interact with, where those people are going to take you.
Yeah. Well, that was a great note to just kind of end everything on. Thank you again for sitting down with me, David. It's been a pleasure. You're so personable and so successful. So it was
Thank
a
you.
nice, brief conversation. And thank you so much.
I appreciate this anytime, because if I could be help to you or anyone in the program, happy to do it. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate your time as well.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.